YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a video that's a little bit different from anything that I've ever done before, and it's basically a video on tips and advice on how to have a dog or just a pet in college. If you didn't know, I'm a sophomore at San Diego State University, and last year, my freshman year, I ended up bringing home 2 puppies. I do understand that there's a bunch of responsibilities that come with it. I've had these dogs for about a year now, and I totally get all of that, and I'm not just saying that, hey, you should go out and get a dog, but I definitely do think through my trial and error I can help you decide whether or not it's the right decision for you to get a pet in college, because there is a lot to know about it, but it's also not unrealistic. Because I know when I first brought home 2 dogs, a lot of parents were like, whoa, why'd you do that? I think that really fueled me to get to where I'm at now, because I was like, I'm gonna prove all these people wrong. I'm not saying that I did this all on my own, because I for sure didn't. I just want to put that out there because it is a lot of work, but I just do think also that where there is a will, there's a way. So with that being said, let's just get started. Number 1, adopt, don't shop. I beg you all to please just go to your local shelter or local humane society. I understand that a lot of people have a specific breed in mind that they really want, and they go to breeders, and breeders charge hundreds and hundreds of dollars. It's ridiculous how expensive it is, and I'm in no place to judge if you do have a specific breed that you want, because I personally have a dream dog that I want as well. But being in college, it just costs way too much money to go and buy a dog from a breeder. With that being said, when you adopt from the shelter, you're helping out a great cause. There's so many dogs that get brought into the shelter or the Humane Society. It's just so sad and heartbreaking to walk in there and just to see how many dogs have been abandoned or how many have been mistreated. And you can be that person, you know, to bring home and save a life. Literally save a life. Aside from all of the morality stuff, it's the most cost efficient. I got each of my dogs for $65 at the San Diego City shelter. The $65, I got the dog with it, vaccinations and shots that last for over a year, 1 free vet visit, a microchip, I always microchip, which is basically if your dog ever runs away and they get brought back into the shelter, they scan your dog and then they find the chip and they know who to track the dog back to its owner. The last thing was being spayed or neutered for obviously whichever gender the dog is. $65 to get all of that and not having to spend over $100. Number 2, make sure that the space you're living in allows pets. I know that a dorm room isn't obviously practical to have a dog in. Please don't try to sneak a dog into your dorm room and try to keep it in there. It needs space to run around, an environment where it can bark and just be itself and be lively. Please don't do it. You're gonna get in trouble. You'll just be way more stressed out, making sure your RA or whatever doesn't find out about the dog, that you won't even be enjoying the dog, and it just becomes a hassle at that point. And same goes with apartments. Know that if you do end up living in an apartment complex that does allow dogs, majority of the time they will require a deposit fee or a pet rent. So just keep that in mind, because that does and can get really pricey. Number 3, get people to help you. I'm saying this because having those extra hands really does take a lot of stress off yourself. I'm not saying that you can't get a dog on your own, because I'm pretty sure you can. It'll just be a lot more work. For these 2 dogs that I have right now, Andrew and Catherine were a tremendous help. I wouldn't call them just my dogs. Whiskey and Champagne are partly Andrew's and Catherine's as well. Andrew and Catherine have as much responsibility over these dogs as I do, because we all pitched in with the payments, and we all collaboratively decided that, hey, we actually want to have dogs and we want to take on this responsibility together. Just make sure your roommate's on board too, because if your roommate's not, they might hurt the dog. I don't know, potential scenarios for. I know this is a very common sense thing, but take your dogs out. It's good for your own health too, I think. When you take them on a 10-15 minute walk a day, you're getting in some cardio for yourself or whatever it is. If you can't take your dog, Andrew and I try to make it a point every week to try to take the dogs out at least once to either the dog beach or the dog park. If you end up skipping a couple of days of not taking them out on walks, then just take them that one day that you're off, or that one day on the weekend where you're not doing anything, just for an hour or 2, just to get them out of the house, because dogs are animals. They like to be in the wild. They like to roam free, and it just makes them happy. You get a breath of fresh air too. Number 5, adopt an older dog. And You can decide yourself what you think is an older dog, but puppies are just a lot of work. They need to be potty trained. They're so hyper, they're so needy. I just don't think it's a very good idea to get a puppy in college unless like you have a lot of help or you have a lot of time. If you have a social life, if you're a part of clubs, if you're a part of Greek life or any of that, I just don't think that getting a puppy is a good idea. Go to the shelter, get yourself a dog that has been there maybe for like a week or even 2. And I brought home Champagne and she was in the shelter for 2 weeks, but when I brought her home, she was already potty trained for me. On top of that, Whiskey and Champagne, when we brought them home, knew how to sit. It was like nice that that was already like done for us, I guess you can say, because that saved a lot of time off our hands. 6, have a patch of grass in your backyard or on your balcony if you live in an apartment. I got this like small patch of grass from Home Depot for only like, I want to say like $10 or $15, and then underneath it you can just put like pee pads. I'll show you guys what I did. Doing this is like really helpful for just days that you do have to study, because I know it's not always practical to like take a dog out every single day, like 2 or 3 times a day, especially if you're cramming for a test, or if you're just super exhausted from work or whatever it is. Just have that patch of grass outside for them, and I can guarantee you that they'll pee there instead because it's like grass to them. 7, if you can, and if the people you live with are on board, get 2 dogs. That sounds so crazy at first, and I know that, but it's mainly just because if you're gone a lot, then having another dog will keep that first dog company. And I got 2 dogs for that reason. At first, Whiskey was really shy, so when we brought home Champagne, it kind of like socialized him and it made him more confident. They're just a happy little duo. You do have to make sure to go to the shelter before and bring your first initial pet and have a dog meeting is what they call it, and see if the dogs like get along or not. And I just think that like if you do have the means and the space to have a second dog, then like it really works out for your pet and for you, because now you just have double the puppy love. 8, last but not least, I think it's so important to find a reason as to why you want to have a pet. I get really bad anxiety attacks, and Whiskey is just so good at like comforting me and like calming me down. It's just so nice to like come home to these 2 innocent little beings who give me so much love and who I can give so much love to, and like they've just really showed me that like there are great things in this world. This is like getting so cheesy, but I do hope that this video helped you guys. I'm not an expert, like I said, everything that I stated was through trial and error, and this is only like a fraction of what I have to say, but if I make this any longer, then this video is gonna last forever. So if you guys do have any more questions, or if you want any more tips, then please just let me know, and I'll try to make a part 2 if that is what is wanted. If not, I can always make a story time of how I got Whiskey and Champagne, because I think their story is pretty amazing too. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope I helped at least one person through this video. If not, then hopefully this was kind of interesting for you. Remember to give this video a thumbs up and to subscribe if you haven't already, and to click the bell notifications so you know the next time I post a video. Thanks guys, bye!